The Cursed Spellbook. The antique shop was small and unassuming, tucked between two modern buildings on a narrow, cobbled street. Esme had passed it countless times, never noticing it before, until one chilly October afternoon when she felt an inexplicable pull to step inside. The air was thick with the scent of aged wood and candle wax, and the dim light cast long shadows over the eclectic collection of curiosities. Her eyes wandered over dusty trinkets and tarnished silver until she spotted it. A thick, leather-bound book with an ornate, gold-embossed cover. Its title, The Grimoire of Morgana, was barely legible, the letters worn by time. Something about the book called to her, and despite a shiver of hesitation, she reached out and opened it. The pages were filled with intricate symbols and illustrations of spells, but there was something dark and alluring about the book's energy. The shopkeeper, an elderly woman with sharp eyes, approached, her voice a whisper. "Careful with that one, dear. It belonged to a witch who cursed her own bloodline. Those who open it are bound to its power." Esme's curiosity grew. What happened to her? The shopkeeper's eyes darkened. Morgana, the witch, tried to bend fate to her will. She cursed her family, believing they had betrayed her, and trapped the spirits of those she loved within the pages of that book. She left a legacy of darkness behind. The warning should have made Esme walk away, but instead, she felt an even stronger urge to buy the book. She had struggled for years, feeling powerless against the challenges in her own life. Strained relationships, failed ambitions, and a sense of being trapped in a cycle she couldn't escape. The promise of power, even dark power, was tempting. She left the shop with the book in her bag, her heart racing. On Halloween night, as the wind howled and the moon cast eerie shadows across her apartment, Esme sat at her kitchen table with the book open before her. She hesitated for only a moment before she began to read the words aloud. The language was foreign, ancient, but it flowed from her lips as if she had known it her whole life. The room grew colder, and a shiver ran down her spine as the book's pages glowed. A gust of wind blew through the apartment, though the windows were shut tight, and she watched as ethereal figures emerged from the book, their forms like smoke and shadow. The spirits circled her, their eyes glowing with the intensity of lost souls. One by one, they whispered stories of the witch's life. Esme watched as the pages transformed into scenes. Morgana, as a young woman, full of hope, mastering her craft in the forest. She saw her rise to power, beloved and respected by her coven. But then, betrayal. Her family and coven turned against her, fearing her growing power. Enraged, Morgana had cast a spell, cursing those she loved, binding their spirits to the pages of her grimoire. As Esme watched the witch's life unfold, she felt a chill of recognition. The scenes mirrored her own struggles. She had felt betrayed by those she trusted, friends who had turned their backs, opportunities she had lost to the hands of others. The same anger Morgana had felt, the same desire for control simmered within her. The spirits pressed closer, their eyes pleading. "We were betrayed, just as you were," one whispered. "We sought power, and we lost everything. Do not make our mistake." But another voice, darker and more alluring, whispered from the shadows. "Embrace the power, Esme. The book chose you for a reason. Finish the spell, and you can break free from all who have wronged you. Rewrite your fate." Esme's heart pounded. She knew the book held great power, but she also sensed the danger within. The spirits' faces shifted, some familiar, like echoes of people she had known, while others were strangers, trapped for centuries. Her hands trembled as she hovered over the book. If she completed the spell, she could break Morgana's curse, freeing the spirits trapped within. But doing so would mean embracing the witch's dark legacy, using her magic to rewrite her own life. The candles on the table flickered and the shadows lengthened, wrapping around her like a shroud. The air thickened and the whispers grew louder, urging her to choose. She thought of her own life, her frustrations, and the sense of powerlessness that had plagued her for so long. The temptation to seize the power Morgana had once wielded was strong. But then, a voice rose above the others, a familiar voice, one that sent a chill through her. "Esme, don't. You must let go of the past." She looked up to see the spirit of her own mother, her face both loving and pained. Her mother had died when Esme was young, and her loss had been one of the first wounds that never healed, the beginning of the anger that had grown within her. Seeing her mother's face now, the truth hit her like a wave. This wasn't just Morgana's story, it was her own. Tears welled in her eyes. "I miss you," she whispered. Her mother's spirit reached out, her hand ghostly and faint. "I know, my love, but clinging to anger will only consume you. You must let the curse go." Esme's heart ached, torn between the rage that had fueled her for so long and the love she had lost. She glanced at the book, its pages alive with power. She had the choice to either embrace the darkness and wield the power to reshape her life, or to break the curse and free the spirits trapped within, releasing the hold it had over her. With a deep breath, she made her choice. "I won't let it control me," she said, her voice steady. She raised her hand over the book and spoke the words of the final spell, the one that would release the spirits. The air in the room trembled, and the pages glowed with an intense light. The spirits cried out, their voices mingling as the magic swirled around her. The book's power surged, and she felt the darkness clawing at her, trying to pull her under. But she held firm, focusing on her mother's face, the warmth she had once known. The spell reached its peak, and with a burst of light, the spirits were released, their forms dissolving into the night like fireflies. The book's glow faded, and the room fell silent. Esme sank back into her chair, the weight of the magic lifting from her. The air was still, the whispers gone. She looked down at the book, now a lifeless relic, its power drained. The spirit of her mother remained for a moment longer, her smile gentle. "You have broken the cycle, Esme. You are free." Tears streamed down Esme's face as she watched her mother's spirit fade into the night, the warmth of her presence lingering. She had let go of the past, and in doing so, she had broken the curse that had bound not only Morgana, but herself as well. The spellbook remained closed, a reminder of the choice she had made. She rose from her chair, feeling lighter, and placed the book on a high shelf, where it would remain untouched. The power it once held no longer had any hold over her. As the first light of dawn crept through the window, Esme walked to the window and took a deep breath, feeling the freedom of her choice and the promise of a new beginning. I hope you enjoyed the short story. Like and subscribe for more. Thank you for wandering the foggy paths of Mystmoor with us. Stay curious, but beware what you may uncover in the mist. Farewell, brave souls from Mystmoor Mysteries.